having a donut right now, trying to stimulate my diabetes, if I had some. I'll test it. Coffee, of course, to keep me charging to the bathroom. I was always an entertainer, but never, ever considered it as a living. I was a veterinarian for 13 years, practiced with 2 big livestock companies in the Northwest. You know, life changes and things fall out from under you, or it gives you a new ladder to climb. And something happened when I went to work for Burroughs Wellcome. And one of my jobs was putting on producer meetings. I guess the whole key to it all was that I refused to carry slides. So instead of doing that, I used humor for my explanations or for my demonstrations. And I'd tell them a story and then make it apply somehow to whatever disease I was talking about. I was actually more entertaining than informative. And so I was in demand, I guess. They were calling the company and say, "Can you send that loony veterinarian out here to give us a little meeting?" And over a period of 2 years that I worked for them, I did 180 of these programs. And then when Burroughs Wellcome changed hands and let me go because I was a new guy, people kept calling. To this day, I have never had to solicit the speaking business, which is a blessing that I do appreciate. I think if I had to actually get an agent and do it, I would have never even considered it. I can remember the time that I decided I was going to put one of my stories, I was going to write it out and put it in a book. Well, I wrote it out and it wasn't funny. And I knew it was funny because I told it 1,000 times. So I told it to a recorder, my little cassette player, and I listened to it and it was funny. And I realized if you can talk funny and you want to write funny, you got to write like you talk. So that is how I write. And it frustrates a lot of magazine editors and publishers, and the columns they were always correcting me. And I was saying, you don't know that word, but I know it. And that's how I say it. But anyway, now they aren't correcting me. It's all writing, but I always write something with the idea I'm going to tell it. That's how I write those poems. I would write the poems, and still do, and then I air them out. And if they don't sound good, you can see it on paper, but when you're going to try and tell somebody, you have to make it flow.
Herefords were black and Angus were red. Would breeders of Herefords breed Angus instead? I mean, would the people who bred Herefords first be now breeding Angus if things were reversed? Or would they be loyal to red, white, and true? To color of cowlick always be true. But if such were the case, would they diss all the blacks, tell jokes about prolapse, compare them to yaks, more suited for saddle or wearing a yoke than stubbornly breeding until they go broke? And those of the Aberdeen Angus cartel, would they tout maternal endowments as well, promoting their native resistance to thorns while cursing as mutants those not sprouting horns, just dragging their sheath through the cheatgrass and burrs like leaky old bass boats nobody insures? Debate would rage on like it does anyway, if the South had worn blue or the North had worn gray, or if Henry Ford had been Hank Chevrolet. You'd still be a Ford man, or would you today? So if Herefords were black and Angus were red, would breeders of Herefords breed Angus instead? The question begs deep philosophical thought, but don't get disgruntled or get overwrought. The breeders of purebreds run true to the grain, and efforts to change them would just be in vain. And not because they think other cattle are bad, I'm sticking with this one, because that's what Dad had.
I have never taken it upon myself to tell people how to do things or educate them in any way. My job is to help you enjoy what you do.